Hey everybody, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Ken. Today, in honor of the Greek festival coming up next weekend, I'm cooking up some baklava, and it is going to be delicious. I was a little intimidated by this dish at first, but I made a batch up and it turned out great, and I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a little bit of lemon juice, some honey. Honey's always slow coming out of there. It's actually good local honey. It's actually my honey. Got it out of the backyard. And 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. We're going to bring this to a simmer. And then to this mixture, we're going to add some pistachios and some walnuts that I've ground up with a little bit of breadcrumbs in them. And that's going to make our little paste to put inside the pastries. All right, now you can see our honey and cinnamon and lemon juice have really started blending well together. Now I'm going to go ahead and add our nuts to this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 cups of this mixture. And I'm just going to fold this in and make a nice little paste out of it. Once you get this mixed up, we're going to take it and set it aside and let it cool. You don't want to add it on top of your pastry when it's hot. It'll kind of melt things out. All right, now that our paste is cooked down a little bit, we're going to start laying our phyllo dough. Now this I picked up over in Food Lion in the freezer section. And you really got to be careful with it. Very gentle. I'm just going to lay our first sheet down. Now this is a 9 by 13 inch pan. And then we're going to brush it. With butter. All right, now that's our first layer. And we're going to do this again 5 more times. We're going to put 5 pieces on here. If you want to try to keep it from drying out, you could use a towel on top of it. You just kind of have to work a little fast. You don't want it to get too dry. It'll crumble on you. Start tearing. All right, now we're going to add our paste to this. Spread this out. You want to try to get it as thin as you can without tearing anything. Now once we get this on here, we're going to repeat this 2 more times and then put 5 more sheets of phyllo dough on top of it, and then we'll be ready to go. All right, it's time for our second layer. I'm going to put 5 more sheets on here, and then another layer of our paste. And then 1 more layer on top of that. All right, just finishing up putting our butter on our top part here. And now we're going to take it and we're going to score it with our knife. This will make it a lot easier for you to cut later. You just want to cut down past that first layer. You don't want to go all the way to the bottom just yet. And you can cut it in squares, or you can cut the squares into diamonds, little patterns, however you want to do it. I'm just going to cut it down into squares. All right, now we're going to place this in the oven at 350 degrees, probably for 45 minutes to an hour, but you want to keep your eye on it. You don't want your top to get too browned. If after 30 minutes it's starting to look like it's getting a little brown, you might want to put a piece of aluminum foil over the top of it. Now while that's in the oven, we're going to cook up a simple syrup to pour over the top of it when it's finished. It's going to be a cup of sugar, 3/4 a cup of water, a cup of honey, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and a tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Our syrup is looking really good. We'll let that set there. Now we're going to use a cup of that when we're finished. We're going to pour it over the top of it. You're going to want to let your baklava sit overnight. Let it soak up all that syrup that you put on top of it. And this is what we're going to end up with. You can see it's a great looking little pastry. See all the ingredients on the inside and how flaky that is. That good crunch. It's so rich. All that butter. And that cinnamon flavor is absolutely delicious. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's recipe, and I hope you give it a try. Maybe we'll see you out at the Grape Festival. Bye now.